What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous, most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. 2 weeks ago, the Disney Corporation released a trailer for the new live action version of The Little Mermaid, and people have completely lost their goddamn minds over seeing a young black woman, the actress and singer Haley Bailey, play the main character Ariel for The Little Mermaid. First of all, I don't understand what the hoopla is about because this was announced. It had to have been at least 2 years ago because I very vividly remember one of the very first videos on my old channel was about the Little Mermaid and the fact that they were making it a black woman and the fact that they were going to have the prince was going to be white. So I very vividly remember talking about it. It was actually a live video where I was sitting outside and I recorded it. So if I can find it in my archives, I'll repost it to my Patreon. But like I said, I very vividly remember recording that video and talking about that. And so the news is not really new. This is something that's been known. It has at least for 2 years, at least. But I guess people when they get something thrown in their face, they lose their minds. And what I mean by that is both black people and white people have been losing their minds over this movie. White people are way too mad about it, and black people are way too happy about this. Okay, black people think of this movie as somehow a victory or somehow a celebration of representation in these movies, and I think it's ignorant to think that, and it just shows once again something that I like to repeat on this channel and other platforms that I've been on, that black people are completely starved of any type of positive entertainment or positive content, I should say. So any type of positive content that features black people in it, black people just lose their minds over. I remember when that 3D animated movie came out in Kanto, was it a year ago? And they had some black Latino characters in that movie with natural hair. Black people lost their goddamn minds over that. Same thing with that movie Soul. Black people lost their minds that they had black people in animated form in a Pixar movie. And as someone who actually is an artist and who has worked in this field for years, it's interesting to me. I understand it from a social standpoint and from a social and economic mindset, but just from an artist standpoint, it can be a little disheartening when you are a black artist who does create black characters all the time and have been doing it forever, and then a big corporation like Disney comes along and does it, and black people act like it's the brand new thing or something great. Like they make it seem as if black characters only have value or black content only has value if it's created by white people. And that's very discouraging to a lot of black artists out there, right? But I've never been one of those people that wants to try to force my creations on people, but and I'm old enough to get through any type of discouragement because I'm going to do what I want to anyway because I love doing and creating what I create. But for a lot of younger artists or artists who haven't really found their truth or their passion of it yet, they might be discouraged by seeing that. Just getting it out there so people understand where they're coming from when they see nonsense like this. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have white people who are basically having a conniption over the fact that they have a black female playing the role of Ariel. The white people have this thing anyway where they don't like, especially with white girls with red hair, they feel like there's this conspiracy to replace all redheaded white characters with black people. So they're very upset about that. When they did it with Mary Jane in the latest Spider-Man movies, they were very upset. They've been upset seeing it in some of these DC movies where you have these classical redheaded characters and they turn them black. So, white people don't like that at all. And it shows to me that when they make these overtures or whatever, when they tell you things like when black people complain about the version of Jesus that they put out there, or the version of angels, or the version of God out there being white, and black people complain about that, and the white people say it shouldn't matter, it's not that big of a deal. Or when black people bring up historical figures that are black, and and how they've always been portrayed as white, and white people say really it's not that big of a deal, why do you always have to bring up color? It shows the hypocrisy in that statement, because for them color does matter. Okay, the color of this is not even a real historical person. Ariel's not a real person. She never existed in history. She's even a mythological creature. She's a mermaid, so there in no shape, form, or fashion does she exist other than in fantasy. But even in that regard, it's still important to white people that this character be white. All right, it's important to have that visual. Now, Disney has been creating white female characters forever. They've had nothing but since their very start. But and black people have had to put up with that. But white people don't think about stuff like that. They don't care about stuff like that. All they care about is stroking their own ego and making themselves seem like the princess or the queen or whoever, the king, the prince, or what have you. So we can see by their negative reaction that imagery does matter, and the what type of content is put out there and how it is shown does matter. So when they get all upset and they've been trying to, I guess this is their way of retaliating against black people somehow. Somehow they're blaming us for this. It's not our fault that Disney decided to make this character black. Black people didn't petition for it, and even if we did, a large corporation like Disney wouldn't give a damn if that's what we actually wanted. But white people have been making these little memes with classic black movies or classic hood movies, and they've been putting white actors on it. I guess that's supposed to make us upset. It's actually funny. Like most black people have been looking at these pictures and laughing at it because it's ridiculous, right? And they're not even really trying that hard. They're just taking literally random white actors and throwing them into these hood movies. Like I said, it comes off as comical when you do that. But white people, I'll just say to them, it obviously color does matter, and it proves it when they get butthurt about things like this. They try to flag the video, they try to give it all thumbs down and all this other stuff. So to them, they just show that color does matter. And for all you Negroes who think that we've moved past racism, or we've moved past bigotry or discrimination or prejudice or colors and symbolism and everything like that, we haven't moved past it. It's still going on. When someone makes a movie about a fictional character and a fictional mythological creature and makes the character a different color, you see how these people react. Okay, they don't like it whatsoever. So color does matter. So no matter what they try to tell you anytime later on, color does matter to them. Now, one more thing I wanted to say is black people don't get too caught up in this. For the most part, this is just a cash grab from Disney. That's the only reason they do like these racial switches of characters, or they switch the gender of a character. It's just to get more money or get money out of a different demographic. It's not for your benefit. And be careful when you show these types of movies or this type of content to your children. I don't even know if I want to let my daughter watch it without at least giving her a preface of what she might be looking at. Now, to be honest, she doesn't like the Little Mermaid anyway. She never liked the original one to begin with. Like, I think when we first got Disney Plus, we tried to watch it, and she just wasn't interested at all whatsoever. So, there's other things that she likes out there that are content that I can approve of rather than that anyway. But she doesn't. I don't think I would want her watching it because it sends kind of a bad message. That is for the same reason that I didn't want my daughter, or why we did not watch Meghan Markle getting married to Prince Harry. It sends a bad message to young black girls or young black women that a black woman or dark-skinned woman is going to be with this white man. Okay, and it makes it even worse when you think about in this movie, the main character of Ariel, she's pining to be part of his world, quote unquote, right? So now that the fact that they've changed the race of Ariel. It's not just about a mermaid wanting to be in the world of the humans. Now it's literally about a black woman or a black girl wanting to be in the world of these white folks. You see where the problem comes in now? And you literally got this little black girl singing about how I want to be a part of your world. That's symbolism, and it's damaging to the minds of young black people when you start doing stuff like that. That's why I don't trust the whole racial switch when they change the race of these characters. It takes on a whole different meaning doing that. And the fact that Disney knows what they're doing, because if you're going to have a little black girl play Ariel, why not have a black boy be the prince, right? See, they didn't even do that with the prince and the princess and the frog. They made the prince some basically a Latino, or I don't know if he's Latino or Arab or whatever. They threw him in there, and that was supposed to be the prince for this black woman. And even so, she still had to have a job by the end. It wasn't like she was a princess that was free. She basically started out as a house servant. Her and her mother, they killed her black father in the movie. Her black father dies, and it was his dream to own a restaurant. And the girl took on that dream. And even after all the things she goes through, she just winds up, working at a restaurant. And I don't know if he's Arab, Italian, whatever. He just winds up being a server at the restaurant. Basically, he was a loser. He had lost all his fortune, so he wasn't even really a prince. So that's the type of subliminal nonsense they put into the minds of black girls when they make these movies, what black princesses, quote unquote. So I'm not very much looking forward to seeing a black girl in the role of Ariel. I even noticed in the trailer they got her with straight black hair. Now, the actress Halle Bailey is known for having locks and braids and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they'll have her with her natural hair. Maybe there is something you can glean from this. But nope, they got her swimming around, and she's got the long, flowing, straight white girl hair in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what kind of black woman is this? She can go in the ocean and keep this straight, stringy ass dog hair. How the hell does that work? But you know how it is. It's all mythology, it's fantasy, and it's messing around with your children's minds. So I would suggest not letting them watch it unless you're going to educate your child on what they're looking at beforehand. Anyway, you guys let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. This is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on these devils' back.